Self-care strategies part 2. So building off part 1, the main difference here is that we're going to go from what was a lying or supine position into a standing position. So we're going to take 3 exercises. We're going to start off with some soft tissue release using the peanut ball on top of the vibration. Then we're going to add in a mobility, flexibility exercise and then a stability exercise. So that kind of 3-step sequence. So to kind of quickly preview, the first one's going to be our trigger point or soft tissue work for the plantar fascia. So being in this position, it allows us to graduate how much weight we put onto the undersurface of the feet. We're going to have a little bit of movement, different directions. So that's soft tissue work. Then we're going to go into our functional flexibility and mobility, so focused on the ankle and lower leg. So again, we're going to use that movement strategy in all directions. And it's important that once we've created mobility in the system, we then need to give the body the stability to control that. So then our final exercise is going to be a single leg balance, and then we're just going to add a foot reach to challenge that stability in the body. So we'll start with the first one, which is going to be our soft tissue work. In terms of settings, it will be 60 seconds. We're obviously going to work one leg and then the other, and you can choose whether you feel a high or low is comfortable. Most important thing with this particular exercise is that we're going to start from the base of the heel, so sort of just where the heel bone is, and slowly work our way all the way up around the undersurface of the feet. And it's important because sometimes we get carried away with how much pressure we put in. By elevating this leg that we're working, it allows you to graduate how much pressure that you push down. So it should be comfortable, not too painful. So we'll start from the heel. Get into a nice relaxed position, and we're just going to move slowly, just an inch or so up and down, and we're going to hold on that area, and we're just going to add a little bit of rotation. If it helps, you can kind of think about the knee coming in, or you can imagine the hips as a steering wheel, just creates that rotation. Then we're going to move a little bit further up, same process, we're going to go forward and back, hold that position, add that little bit of rotation. You should kind of feel the foot as it flattens and drops, adds that pressure into the medial arch area. And we simply follow that same strategy all the way up and across the different areas of the foot. So forward and back. If you feel any particular areas that don't seem to be moving very well, then hold and just add that little rotation. And that rotation combination kind of separates the tissue, so it adds that fluidity and hydration into the soft tissue. Second exercise now, we've created that sort of soft tissue release with the plantar fascia and the peanut ball. Now we're going to go into our mobility, so we're sort of on the plate. And a couple of things with the setup. Obviously you can use the plate lengthways, which kind of gives you a little bit more room. And we're going to work on the right leg, so the leg that's back. So we're just going to bend the knee to the point where we feel that we've got that sort of stretch in the calf, Achilles, lower leg area. It's also important that when we use the vibration that we do use a low setting, and on here we're going to go for 45 or 60 seconds, but our strategy is going to be that we create that stretch first just by bending the knee. We can place the hands on the hips, and we're simply just going to drive the knee forward and back, so that kind of rhythmical oscillation going forward and back. Then we're going to hold so that we feel the stretch, and then now we're going to move side to side and in the frontal plane. So you'll feel that different reaction then through the foot and the ankle. And then for our last 15 seconds, or 20 seconds if you're doing for a minute, you're then going to go into that stretch again, and now we've got that rotation movement. So if it helps, you can kind of imagine the hips as a steering wheel again, and we're just creating that rotational movement. Driven from the hips, but actually you'll see the knee and the foot and ankle moving. So we've now mobilised the calf, the lower ankle complex in all 3 planes of motion on the right leg, and of course you now need to repeat on the left leg. Our third and final exercise in this 2-part series, we've now created mobility. So we've used trigger points, soft tissue release, we've done some functional flexibility, and it's important now that we finish with our stability exercise. So we're going to use the right foot as an example again, and it's important that because we're on the vibration that we always maintain a slight knee bend. So our starting position essentially is going to be a single leg balance with a toe tap, and I'm going to show two options here. So hands on the hips. Our first option is going to be a tap. So if you imagine we've got kind of two 45 angles, so we're going to go on 45 there, and then almost across the body, and we're just tapping the edge of the plate. Alternatively, we're going to add a reach, where now we reach to whatever range of motion feels comfortable, and then we would come back home and toe tap. So what you'll find is that we're going to do this for 30 seconds on the plate. Because of the vibration now, it's going to add that stability challenge because the vibration is hitting us and moving in different directions. So we maintain that knee bend. We start with a single leg balance, the tap. So we're moving on those two 45 angles. And then if that feels comfortable, then we can add the reach. And essentially you're reaching as far out as you can, that where you feel successful to come back home. If at any stage you need to reset the body, just by toe touching, you can do. And that really then starts to anchor in the stability after we've created mobility in the first two strategies.